Hedera Hbar. So this is what the government has announced, and it is the UK government in relation to some flying taxis that we could be seeing in the next couple of years. And it's going to be something that will be benefiting Hedera, of course, because we do have another company that is using Hedera's technology in order to leverage this, and we will be in this industry. We're going to be taking a look at that, as well as the price action of both Hbar and Source, and any other updates that I have for you. Of course, it is a Wednesday today, so do drop in the comment section below, for example, how many Hbar that you hold, or if you're just having a good week so far, because we are pretty much midweek now. And again, I always like to see the regulars and also newbies in the comments, which I always reply to. So say something positive, say whatever you want, as long as it is somewhat decent and reasonable. Now, let's first take a look at what I want to be showing you, which is what the UK government has announced. So on the X page, we have over here that the UK Department for Transport plans to allow drones to fly beyond visual line of sight, and some of the uses of unmanned drones include transporting medical supplies. So this is obviously going to be really important, especially when it comes to the NHS, because if we are able to get the contract with the NHS, then we're talking quite a few millions here. Now we have Neuron World, which is building on Hedera, has been working on some of this stuff, and we've already seen a few pilot projects. So Neuron have said that we have helped to contribute to the paper from the Department for Transport, and things are definitely moving in the UK. So the Department for Transport is obviously concerned with and responsible for all things relating to transport. That includes trains and airplanes and things of that nature, which is why it's very important for us. Now, in terms of the article and what it says when it comes down the line, it says that we could potentially be seeing flying taxis. I mean, on the headline, it does say in the next 2 years. I don't think it's going to be that early. We could possibly see it maybe in the next 8 years, especially if we see more regulations coming in, because it will take some time. But the main thing from here is that we do have Neuron World, the company that is built on Hedera, that could potentially be used within this case, because of course they are the company that are having these drones, and they are using Hedera in terms of the verification of the flight time and where the drones are going from and to. So we have over here that the prediction of the first pilotless flying taxi will be taken off in 2030, which is only 6 years away from now. Of course, with the flying taxi, it means that we're not going to be having a pilot there. It's going to be autonomous, pretty much like the autonomous vehicles that you see with Tesla, like self-driving. This will be self-flying. But the only sort of problems that we may have as of now is infrastructure, of course, when it comes to the airspace and with the flying, and then the public acceptance, which I think may be some more of a problem, but not as much of a problem compared to the infrastructure. I think once we get that in place, then we should be able to move forward. Now, we have over here from the Department for Transport that they do plan to allow drones to fly beyond visual line of sight, meaning that the person controlling the drone cannot see it in the air. So as of now, if you actually buy a drone yourself, what you can do is you can fly it within a certain radius, and you can actually see where the drone is. But the DFT are saying that they're going to be allowing for drones to go beyond that, meaning that they will be able to reach a further distance, which is particularly good. And some observations that we have over here in terms of utility is that we're going to be having the transportation of medical supplies. So let's say, for example, if that needed to go from one hospital to another, and let's say it's between York and Leeds, then that could probably be done within a couple of minutes. Or if it's even further out from Leeds to Manchester, you could probably do that within 30 minutes. They're just guidelines and estimated times. And also delivering post in rural areas. And so sometimes when there's not high residential areas, pretty much all what it is just lots of land and farm. And so instead of actually driving out there, you can actually get the drones there much faster and quicker, and it saves a lot of time on the roads. And of course, tracking down criminals on the road, instead of actually getting a helicopter up in the sky, which I think costs roughly around about £1,000 once you factor in the pilot cost as well as the fuel. It will be much cheaper when it comes to actually tracking these criminals down as well. So the plan suggests that drone deliveries would be commonplace by 2027. Now, this is a picture that we have in terms of the delivery drones for the NHS that was used in a trial back in 2022. Now, if I'm looking at this picture, the drones do look very big, but do remember that this picture is pretty much a close-up because we have the helipad, and so the drone is actually much smaller than you think. But we have this compartment, or I suppose a space that you could say, which is where the package would be going. But it looks pretty cool, right? Because it does look like a mini model or version of an airplane. That's what it is an aircraft. And over here it says that the government's report gives an example of flying from Liverpool to Leeds in just 26 minutes. So we know that Liverpool is on the west coast of the UK and Leeds is pretty much towards the east. But to be able to get that transport within 26 minutes, rather than, let's say, for example, 1.5 hours or 2 hours of driving, that will definitely be much more cost effective and it will be more efficient as well. And so in terms of where the vehicles would actually be taken off and where they land, there was a mini airport that was actually set up just for 1 month in a car park near central Coventry in 2022 as a proof of concept. So we're going to be having these mini airports that are designed for drones, just like what we have in terms of airplanes, I suppose, but obviously not going to be taking that much land. And the company behind that is Urban Airport. And so we've already gone through those trials, but not only that, we have the Civil Aviation Authority and they are consulting on proposals for vertiports at existing aerodromes. The Civil Aviation Authority are responsible for all things that are to do with the airspace, and so of course we need some sort of regulation and certificates from them so that they can tick this off and say yes, that we can go ahead. So the new regulation can potentially be coming out for the autonomous air taxis by 2030, if of course we are able to actually meet all of the criteria, but that is what we are currently aiming for. Very exciting use case, and one of the use cases that I particularly like when it comes to building on Hedera. I definitely like the fact that not only is it cost effective, but it is solving that solution of being able to actually transport these necessary goods and do it at a much more efficient scale as well. Over here from Hbar Bull, we have some information coming in from SentX and just talking about the fact that what they are able to provide now and some sort of benefits. Let's have a look at this.
Collecting JPEGs. So imagine what we can do for your business. And for me, this is a successful business case that we want to present as a network. So right now, we just need more eyes, more visibility for our NFT ecosystem because we are ready, I believe. The platforms are here. We have tons of features. We have features that are not even present on any other ecosystem. And this is insane. So let's bring more eyes and let's bring those millions of dollars towards Hedera as well.
There's so many great tools, from the base layer services of Hedera, but also the infrastructure that's being built around Hedera, and SentX is a really important part of that. And you've talked about some of those features. So what are some of the features that make SentX stand out, and what are your plans to stay innovative going into the future?
Okay, so the one that I'm the proudest of in terms of features are our bulk actions. Because with bulk actions, you can do so much in such a quick way. Our current record is a user selling 490 NFTs in one single action from their side in this case. And what happened was the user added 490 NFTs to the shopping cart that we have at SentX. It then clicked instant sell. The platform found 490 buyers or less buyers that wanted to instant buy those particular NFTs, divided into 64 smaller transfers, if I'm not mistaken. In the background, the user doesn't see any of this, and those smaller transactions were submitted to the Hedera network so that they can be approved. So the background will divide those for the user, but the only thing that the user knows is that they added 490 NFTs to their shopping cart, they clicked instant sell, and in seconds, that was done. He had the Hbar in his wallet, and the 490 NFTs were divided amongst dozens of buyers. So,
and this is something that is very important from the time of execution when it comes to placing the order and then seeing the Hbar within the wallet. And of course, if we're able to do that, we're going to get satisfactory user experience. Let's have a look at the price action for Source. We are currently trading at 13 cents, 0.1367. We are down by 2.32% on the one-day chart. For the volume, we are down by 5.42% and we are trading at $2.92 million. In the earlier hours of the morning for today, we were trading at 0.1314. We did actually go to a high today at 0.144. Now, if we have a look at the 7-day chart, we are down by 23.57%. And you'll see over here on the 14th of March, we were at 0.177, and we actually have come down. We did actually go up though to 0.1681 as we went from 0.1629 on the 15th, but we're pretty much on a downward trend, right, as you can see from the 1 week. The lowest that we have actually went to was on the 19th to 0.1325. So we've seen that massive pullback now as we went on that big run. On the 1 month chart, we are down by 19.65%. But again, in terms of source and the price action, it's pretty much well deserved because we were able to hit that all-time high of roughly around about 23 cents. So really nothing to worry about as we are still up by 5 cents in general with the price action. Markets today is down, as you can see, across the board. For HBAR, we are currently trading at 0.104. On the 1 day chart, we are down by 2.1%. For the 1 week, we are down by 20% as well, pretty much following what Source is doing. At the start of the week, we traded at 13 cents, then we did go to 0.124 on the 16th. And you'll see over here that the lowest that we went to was actually today at 0.998. Where do I see the price action of HBAR going in the next couple of days? Because on the 1 month chart, it is up by 10.1%. Now that we are at 0.104, I want to see the price action of HBAR being able to consolidate at the mid-range of 9 cents if we do go to the downside. If we go to the upside, then I am looking for 11 cents pretty much, and to see how we are able to trade there going forward. Guys, if you want daily Hedera, HBAR and Source swap news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.